Well, so far let's take some inventory here. We took range brass, we deprimed it, we wet tumbled it, we resized it, and we belled the case mouth. Now, before you even get this far, you could measure the case to see if it falls within the maximum allowable case length. Now, a 9mm Luger case has a maximum length of 0.754 inches. That's maximum. So I have measured all these cases on my digital caliper, and they usually fall anywhere between 0.747 to 0.751. So we put this one in, and this one comes in at 0.750. So that's fine. That's still well below the maximum case length. Now, we got to put primers in it. So there's a device called a priming tool. There's all kinds of little primers down on the primer plate. And this one is made by Hornady. I don't like it. It's an absolute terrible device to use. It's a darn thing to put together. It's difficult. It doesn't feed primers well, especially small primers. It doesn't feed well. They'll turn over even inside this plate, and then they jam up. It's not a very nice tool. Most anything that Hornady makes, and it is Hornady, not Hornaday, it's spelled Hornady. There is no D-A-Y in Hornady. So, I've heard people mispronounce it constantly. Hornaday. Well, it's Hornady. But just about anything Hornady makes is very good, except for this priming tool. It's just a constant nightmare to use. I don't like it at all. But anyway, I've got my 9mm case holder inside. You wiggle some primers down into the feed line. You slide your case in, and you feel the primer go up into the pocket. Now, the primer should be flush with the rim. It shouldn't be below the rim, and it shouldn't be above the rim. Both things can cause you malfunctions. If it's too deep into the primer pocket, you'll get possibly the firing pin won't contact the primer enough, and you get a misfire. If the primer is sticking out from the rim too far, then you can have other problems that could be like pre-detonation or just jamming up in your, hopefully just jamming up in your pistol. And hopefully that's all you'll get. But anyway, again, just slide it in and feel the primer go up into the primer pocket. And my fingers know to swipe the bottom of the case every time I do it, and my finger, see that didn't feed there, my finger automatically does that. So when you get a good primer tool, you can go through these fairly quickly, but when you have this device, it can be a constant headache. There again, see, it's not feeding. You silly booger. Anyway, now your primers should not have to be forced up into the primer pocket. Maybe there's a dirty primer pocket. Maybe the primer pocket was damaged some way. Set it aside. See if you can figure out later, once you finish all your cases, what is going on. If nothing else, just throw the darn thing away and keep going with what you have that is good. Primers should also not go up into the primer pockets very easily without hardly any resistance at all. The primer pocket is too large, either from too many reloadings, or maybe you took a hand scraper and scraped the primer pocket out and now it's too big. There again, you don't have those problems with a wet tumbler. Wet tumbler takes all the gunk and grime out of the inside of the case and the inside of the primer pocket. That's why I highly recommend wet tumbling cases. So next we're going to charge the cases with gunpowder. I like Alliant power pistol. With the charge that I put in my cases, 115 grain lead round nose bullets running about 950 feet per second through my chronograph, which is what the big box stores are selling those 115 grain full metal jacket bullets, like, you know, Hornady, the cheaper Federal ammunition, the Blazer ammunition. Those 115 grain full metal jacket bullets go through my chronograph about 950 feet per second, but I'm using a lead round nosed molly coated 115 grain bullet, and I'm getting the same velocity. Charge amounts, I really shouldn't say what I use. You should figure that out on your own. It can be done online, and they always warn against maximum charges. I warn against maximum charges. But anyway, we'll do another video when I get to doing the charging.